And now we're going to flip back over onto our back, and we're going to work on some light core activation. This is going to feel a little challenging. It's very simple, but simple does not always mean easy. Feet are shoulder or hip width apart. Toes are straight up to the ceiling, just like we did in our baby rolls. Arms, we're going to bring hands straight up, and we're going to point, and I want to point and lift so you feel both shoulder blades lift off the floor like you're trying to reach up to the ceiling. And then we're going to drop the shoulders down, but I want to let them spread. I want to feel as much spreading across the floor. Feel all that upper back kind of pressing down into the floor. So I'm pressing shoulder blades, upper back, downward into the floor. I want to keep the hands up to the ceiling, but I'm pulling and pushing into the floor through the shoulders. From here, we're going to do a light scoop of the tailbone, and I want to push through the heels, push through the shoulders, and see if we can just lift the hips off the floor. And we'll hold that for about 2 to 5 seconds. Inhale as we let the hips back down to the floor. Exhale as you lift, hold for 2 to 5 seconds. Inhale as you let the hips back down. I'm not lifting very high. If you're finding this difficult, you can get a little bit of a bend in the knees. As you drive down, you're still actively scooping the tailbone up. Again, I got pressure down through the shoulders, pressure through the heels. Inhale as we're letting the hips back down to the floor. After you do about 5 to 10 of those, that you should feel that kind of light up through the back of the legs, low back, maybe a little bit into that upper back as well. We're now going to flip over onto our stomach. Arms going to start out to the side, palms down. And then from here, we're pulling those elbows in and turning the palms up to the ceiling. Now I'm going to reorient myself real quick. As I pull my arms in, I'm keeping them to the outside of my chest. I don't want to bring my arms underneath my chest. I really want to feel this bony part of the inside of the elbow touch the outside edge of our rib cage. Palms will be up. This should be the position we're on the floor. So from here, pulling in. Once we're pulled in, we're going to tuck the toes. Actively lift the knees to the ceiling. So knees need to come off the floor. We're going to scoop our tailbone. I want to feel your glutes kind of get engaged. And we're going to just lightly lift the hips up off the floor from here. Pick them up. Hold for 2 to 5 seconds. Inhale as we let them back down. Exhale, scoop, lift. The only thing touching the floor are your forearms and your toes. Chest should be off the floor for the most part, hips off the floor. Inhale as we let it back down. This is a very low level plank, just pushing through the elbow, through the forearms and lifting the hips up. You should notice that core, again, kind of lighting up on fire. Once we get about 5 to 10 reps, we're going to roll back onto our back. And we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to add a layer to it. Now, this next layer you might find is a little bit challenging, too hard. If it is, focus on the first part, just getting that lift. But next thing is we're going to try to add in a rotation. So toes are straight up to the ceiling, feet are shoulder width or hip width apart, hands pointing straight to the ceiling. Lift the shoulders and then let them spread, pressing into the floor. Scoop the tailbone to lift the hips off the floor. And the next thing is we're taking our arm, I'm going with my left arm, spiraling. I'm pulling that elbow into that same side body, bone on the elbow, pulling into that rib cage. And I want to turn shoulders. So I'm lifting one shoulder up, lifting hips up, rolling onto my side. Inhale, I'm rolling back to the floor, and then same thing to the other side. Pull that elbow in, rolling onto that outside shoulder. Inhale as we roll back to the floor. Now, it's okay if the hips are touching the floor a little bit on this at first, but ultimately what we're working is, can we keep the hips off the floor so that the only thing touching are shoulders and feet? As I rotate, I'm rolling onto that outside edge of the arm, but I'm keeping the hips off the floor. Feet turn as well, so I have pressure through the inside and outside of my feet respectively. Inhale, as we come to the floor, keeping those hips up. Exhale as we go to the other side. Again, trying to keep those hips up off the floor. The more you try to keep those hips off the floor, even if they touch a little bit, you're going to feel that core working. Once you get a few of those back and forth, we're flipping back onto our stomachs. We're coming back to our belly one, palms down, pulling those elbows into the side, palms spiral up, toes are tucked, actively lifting knees. So now as we pick the hips up off the floor, we can kind of do that same rotation. Roll onto your side. Again, forearm, shoulder, basically the exact same position we got to from our back. And then we're rolling back to the other forearm, to our other side. Again, I'm trying to keep the hips lifted off the floor so that the only thing touching are forearms and shoulders as we work side to side. And the more you're able to try to lift the hips up, the more that core is going to get engaged. Good.